Hey beans, head scratchies, and welcome to a weird standing up video. Is it just me, or does it feel weird not to have my couch here? So you might have noticed that I am not in my usual room recording this. And that's because I'm currently in between homes at the moment for like maybe the next month or so. Which is why this video didn't come out last month. But I must admit, I actually really like the wallpapers here. And speaking of things that furries love, awesome segue, furries love Fursonas. And a heavy number of furries either like have them or are interested in other people's Fursonas. But why do so many furries love Fursonas? Well, I have a quick little video talking all about it. And I'm sure I've missed like maybe one or two reasons, so if you've got any reasons that I've missed in this list, pop them down below, I would love to hear them. But first, last video I asked you guys what your favourite moment in the furry community was. And these are some of your answers. This time around, I want to ask you guys if you could go back to when you started being a furry and tell yourself one thing, what would it be? As always, pop your answers down below and I'll pop some of your answers in the next video. Arf! Fursonas are a little part of us. Okay, so one way or another, when someone is designing their Fursona, a little bit of ourselves gets put into the creation. Because often when designing our Fursonas, we create it with like our favourite things, like your favourite clothing, like hoodies, purple shirts and backwards caps, or...
Nothing at all! Nothing at all! Nothing at all!
Or perhaps you put in like your favourite colours like rainbows or something that represents your pride. But this can also be for like personality, because a lot of furries do take little aspects of their own personality. Like, oh, I love exercise, so I'm going to make my Fursona be an exercise bean. Or I love nature, so I'm making my Fursona like a nature spirit. So no wonder people are very fond of their Fursona, because it's often a showcase of how we see ourselves as people. You know, but with more fur. So 10 times better, right? Fursonas can represent our ideal self. So something that is often spoken about in the furry community is self-betterment and acceptance. And this really has an impact when creating Fursonas, because some furries create them to represent how they would like themselves to be. This could be something like more muscly, less or more weight, being short, being tall, and luckily, I am the tallest wolf to have ever existed, so there's no worries there. Right? Please tell me I'm tall. But on a serious note, this can be particularly impactful for transgender individuals, because you can develop a character that lets you live your ideal gender, which has also helped some people know for sure how they feel inside. And since the furry community can be incredibly supportive, it means a lot of furries are really quick to adapt around pronouns and such. And like I said, being able to create a Fursona that allows you to live almost like a second life, and I don't just mean the game, actually really helps somebody's mental state, because they get to have a bit of escapism into a world where they are the way they want to be. But this could be something a bit more mental, like an ideal trait that you would personally want to be more like. Take myself for example. I have always wanted to make YouTube videos ever since I was in my teens, which has nearly been 10 years. Oof.
What was I thinking? I ain't old, huh?
Don't worry, Pops. We're almost across the street.
Anyway, existential crisis over age aside, by developing Woofles, I was finally able to create content that I enjoy making myself. And I've spoken about this in so many other videos, but having a Fursona really gives you an emotional social barrier. It's almost like a safety net when you're able to like really express how you want to talk. And I can see why some people would see like your Fursona is more confident in themselves. And I know some people will say this is delusional, you have to live in the real world. But you know what, given how chaotic and scary the real world can be sometimes you need maybe like 5, 10, an hour just to escape reality a little bit. I have no idea how it works exactly, but man does it really help when doing conversations. But it's hard not to love something that lets you live out your ideal life, and allows you to express things that you probably wouldn't have been able to do without it. Personas help you to connect to one another. So I've already spoken about how some people become far more confident speaking through their Fursona than their flesh Sona. Okay, I'm sorry I wrote that. It actually sounds so much weirder when I say that out loud. So I apologize that you guys had to experience that. But having a Fursona can allow some people to connect to one another socially. And it also puts you in social situations that are much easier to handle, let's say. Whether it's through role-playing as your character in social environments like VR chat or voice calls or just goofing around in your fursuits. Having a Fursona gives you a lot more excuses to connect to one another. But most importantly, it gives us all something to talk to each other about, because when you talk to like other furries who have Fursonas, we instantly jump on that. Like, you want to tell people your name, your species, show any art that you've got of them. And having an icebreaker genuinely makes such a big difference for us social awkward beings. But the fact that furries are so unbelievably proud of showing their Fursona only just goes to further emphasize the first 2 points of this video. Fursonas are usually pretty positive. So there are a few exceptions to this rule, but when creating a Fursona, people often focus on positive aspects about themselves. Like, my Fursona's cute, is excitable, or is a wolf. All generally upbeat and positive things. And when you talk about yourself positively, even if it's just a character that you've created, you cannot help but feel all warm and cozy. Even those who are generally a pessimistic individual are able to get a little bit of a positive confidence boost from showing their Fursona and have people react like, oh, cute, adorable, and stuff like that. We can get art of our Fursonas. So I could do a whole video on why people love getting art of their Fursona, but to keep this video fairly short, one of the biggest things that makes the furry community incredibly creative is making or buying art of their Fursona in different styles, different poses, and different positions? Okay, you guys made that weird, not me. But combining all my previous points into this one, it's really nice seeing your creation come to life. Like showing your personality, everything that you want to be, and being able to connect to one another by showing the art that you've already got. So having a Fursona that allows you to do this gives you that kind of fuzzy dopamine hit, and it's honestly absolutely amazing. And this just isn't visual art. It can also be through music as well, or even through story writing, like my friend Zerink made. Honestly, this being wrote and published an entire book, and you should all check it out. It's furry, and it's gay, and the price is pretty decent as well. Link down in the description. I promise you, that wasn't sponsored. Fursonas can provide comfort. Sometimes we as people go through rough times. Maybe things just haven't been going your way recently and you're struggling mentally. And before we get on to what this point is really about, I want to tell you guys that it's okay to feel down. It's not a weakness. It's not you failing at life, or even that you're in a pit. Remember that everybody provides their own importance. Whether it's big or small, to 1,000 people, or just one. You all have your positive aspects. That's why I always finish the videos on you mattered yesterday, you matter today, and you matter tomorrow. Because genuinely, it is true. We just can't see it because we always focus on becoming better, so we can only see what we can improve on, and not what we already provide. Anyway, back to why a group of weirdos on the internet love creating humanoid animal characters. But as it sounds, having this escape from reality that everybody needs, that nobody can take away from you, genuinely is so awesome. Because no matter what's going on in the world, whether it's war, politics, almost turning 30, you will always have this perfect little character that you can really think of when you're trying to focus on something positive. And I think that's a big reason why there have been so many furries joining the furry community, especially recently. Because being able to sink ourselves into a character for hours with friends, or developing our own stories, can allow us to immerse ourselves in a harmonious world. And even if it's not real, just releasing some mental pressures makes one heck of a difference. And that's why I think a lot of people have been developing Fursonas. Anyway, that is the end of the video. Thank you so much guys for reaching this far. I am so sorry this has taken so long. It has been one heck of a 2 weeks. I'm really sorry about how slow everything's been. But yeah, when this video comes out, I will have posted a poll for 4 charities that we could be doing for our little charity celebration. Please feel free to vote in. I'm also going to do it on Twitter and I think Blue Sky. If Blue Sky has a poll, I'll do it there too. But anybody who is on my Discord will know that I am actually taking a little hiatus from Twitch streaming until I get back into my own place. But you can still check me out on Twitter and Blue Sky. I would love to see you there. And honestly, guys, thank you so much. I really do appreciate it. Again, I'm so sorry this is so slow. But if you do remember anything from this stream, remember that you mattered yesterday, you mattered today, and you matter tomorrow, and I love every single one of you. Mwah.